If you're an international student planning to come to France to study in 2026, or you know someone who is, you need to watch this video to the end. This is because something changed in France in April 2026, which is going to affect every student coming in from September. I'm going to give you the exact numbers, who's affected, who's exempted, and whether France is still worth it to come for your studies. In April 2026, France's Higher Education Minister, Philippe Baptiste, announced that exemptions would no longer be the rule, it will now be the exception. What he meant was that differentiated fees are now the rule. Exemptions are the exception. What this means in practice is that from September 2026, instead of paying 178 for your bachelor degree, if you are a non-EU student, international student, you'll be paying 2,895 from henceforth. Equally, if you're doing a master degree, you will be paying 3,841 as opposed to the 254 you were paying previously. And if you're doing a doctorate, you are exempt. You're paying the normal fees you've been paying all these years. 347 remains 347 for doctoral degree students, so this doesn't change, you're exempt. Now let me explain why this happened, because if you understand why it happened, it will help you to plan ahead and plan properly for this change. In case you don't know me, my name is Ade and I have been in France for over 8 years. I have navigated this system personally and my videos are meant for that, to help you navigate the system. So what actually prompted this change? Since 2019, the French government has been asking universities to increase their fees to what it is today. But most universities refuse. Why? Because free education, equal access to education is a core French value. And so universities kept school fees equal for everyone, whether you're international or you're native. That rule of equal access to education for everyone was kept. But in 2026, this power was removed from the university and the government has imposed upon all universities to charge all international students 16 times plus the usual school fees. Universities can no longer waive school fees for international students. Power has been taken away. Why this sudden change by France? What brought this about? This is France 2013 investment strategy. The France 2013, the national investment strategy that France is working towards in 2013 is actually strategizing to attract and to develop talent in some core areas where France actually has needs. In AI, in technology, in biotechnology, in energy, in space, in agri-food. This translates into 60% of the exemptions are going to be reserved for students coming for studies in these specific areas, which means that now France is just telling you what they need. So the 60% exemption will be strictly for those that are studying in the areas that France actually has need for. This is not just a fee increase. This is actually France telling you what they want. So strategically, this is where your direction should go to. If what you're studying falls under the needed areas that France has interest in, then you probably will benefit from an exemption from this increase in school fees. So let's be very clear about who this new law affects. Now, if you're a non-EU student coming into France in 2026 to do your master's or your bachelor degree, it affects you. If you don't have a government scholarship before you leave your country, it affects you. If you are already in France and you want to change school, it affects you. If you're already in France and you don't benefit from an Erasmus scholarship, it affects you. And lastly, those who are changing courses, you have to complete the program that you're on now, because if you change your program, the new school tuition fees is going to affect you. Now, those who are protected from this new rule, this new law, are those, if you're already in a university, you started your bachelor program, but you haven't completed it yet, you will still remain on the same school fees you've been paying since you started. But you should not change your courses and you should not change your school. This is what they call continuity d'études. And just as a prompt, go to your school's scholarity office and get them to write you a document stating that you're exempt from the new school fees. Especially you are one of those who are not going to be affected since you've already started your bachelor. Go to the school office, get a letter of exemption. Make sure it's written in paper so you have some kind of justification. Now, for those who are not affected by this new rule and who are going to continue to pay what they've always been paying over the years, we have the PhD students, 397 euros before, 397 even now. If you're from the European Union, you're from the European zone, you're also from Switzerland, or if you are a beneficiary of the French government scholarship, Erasmus scholarship, you are exempt from this new tuition hike. The government didn't just increase school fees, they also created exemption structure. Now, 60% of those who will be exempted will be those who are studying the core subject areas that interest the French government. And also to notice that the universities still have the right to exempt only 10% of international students. That means all the international students coming into France, out amongst them 10%, the universities have the right to exempt them. I mentioned earlier some of the areas where the studies are a priority for France. We have quantum science, biotechnology, environment and energy, space, food and agriculture, IT and communication, digital and artificial intelligence. And if what you're coming to study is already on that list, you should go quickly as possible and apply for the BGF scholarship. But you apply for this scholarship through the embassy of your country, the France embassy in your country. You don't apply through the school. You apply for this BGF scholarship before you leave your country. And another crucial tip, in your motivation letter, make sure you mention clearly France 2030 strategy and use that to justify you receiving the scholarship, because you should give them exactly what they are asking for, which makes a lot of sense. I think your application will be prioritized since it goes in line with the France 2030 strategy. I actually have a free 30-minute chat that I can have with people to help people that are in different kinds of situations. So you can check in my description. You can check in my description. You can find a link to book a free call, and there are other guides which you find in my standstill. So is it still worth it to come to France to study? I will explain to you. My answer is yes. Why? Let's look at the comparison between France and other countries in Europe and abroad. Look at how much you pay. Just compare that. Even in this situation, France still remains the cheapest and the most affordable. Germany, yes, but you are obliged to learn German. You have to learn German to study. But in France, you can study in English or in French. Then the quality of education, the quality of life you have here is so much better. France at 2,895 still remains one of the most affordable countries to go for further studies. The main change that has happened is just planning will have to, change. Now you have to plan the 2,895 into your payments. But nevertheless, France as a language is still an asset for an international student, even if you're working international. France quality of life has not changed. Your talent visa afterwards has not changed. So every other thing just involves good planning and knowledge. So this is what I want you to do. If you're already studying in France, go to your school office, get a letter confirming that you are exempt from the new hike in school fees. Number two, if you haven't left your home country, go to the French embassy and apply for the BGF scholarship, even if you think you're not, even if you think you're not going to get it, just go and apply. Let them tell you no. Now, if you're coming to France in September 2026 and you're studying in the priority areas, make sure in your motivation letter you mention France 2030 strategy. In your motivation letter, you are speaking the language that they understand, and that will be a plus. And fourthly, those that are just coming, just build the new tuition fee into your planning. It's not insurmountable and it could actually be worse. So let's just build that in. I have a guide and a master plan which takes you through the exemptions, the costing, and how you can navigate each situation. You find the description in my bio, and you also find it pinned in the comments below. And just a quick one, 50% of the people that watch my videos do not follow me, nor do they like or put a thumbs up. I'm asking you now, take a pause right now. Just put the thumbs up and also drop a comment or subscribe to my channel if you think my content is useful in any way. France has not closed its doors to you. That's the truth. It hasn't. It has just changed the price of entry. But now that you know, you can prepare and you can still have a worthwhile time while you're here in France. So I'll see you in the next video and let me know what area you want me to research into. I'll be very happy to help. This is Easy France. See you. Bye.